And hello everybody, welcome back to Connor, and we are here with another Leeds Late Night Live, whatever you want to call it, Late Night Leeds. So many L's, LNL, hashtag LNL. How you all doing? I hope you're doing fantastically well. You're here with the second dose of McGilligan today, and it is the late night episode that I brought to you last week. You seem to be enjoying it. We've got the rumour mill. We've got this, a little sort of docu-series on the evening, on the morning. And, you seem to be enjoying that content. It's a 9 to 5 for me, figuring these two things out, marketing both things, graphic designing both things, editing both things, getting everything scheduled for your guys' enjoyment. So I hope you are enjoying everything that's going on at the minute. And I know we haven't got any massive news on the rumour mill, but I'm trying to compensate with absolutely everything else. It's my anniversary today with my partner. Can we get a happy anniversary, Connor, on the comments? Now, before this video starts, we are sponsored, as always, by shipbikesusa.com. Get all your customized, your detailed, anything you want on your motorcycle. If you're interested in motorcycles and are of age, you've got to be of age to ride a motorcycle. Make sure you are. And make sure you're checking out those guys. The customized details, it's all absolutely fantastic. Bernie is the man who's setting all these trends in the USA when it comes to motorcycle. And as well, guys, this is the last day where you are going to be able to enter my competition of winning a Leeds United shirt. Now, if you haven't entered, this is the last day. So make sure you get all your entries in to my email address in the description below. I want a picture of you subscribe to the channel. I want a picture of you liking the video. And I want a comment in the section below. And I want you to screenshot that, attach them all to an email. The comment has to say your favourite time at Ellen Road, your most enjoyable experience. And all those 3 screenshots go into an email to my address, which is in the description below. And that's it. That's all you need to do. 3 elements to win a brand new Leeds United shirt. So make sure you get on that, everybody. Make sure you get on that. Now, today we are doing one of my favourite Leeds United players. Not in that way. We are doing an analysis on Luke Ayling, his career, and what a wonderful servant he has been for the Peacocks. Now, I hope you're all doing fantastically well as well, guys. If there are some sponsors out there who want to sponsor the In Full Swing with Conor McGilligan channel, get in touch via the email. I represent the Leeds United community. I want you guys, if you're part of the Leeds United community as a business, to get in contact with me. Let's get something going. And as well, guys, we're on the way to 7K. So make sure we get up to maybe 6.4 tonight, if you would. But anyway, enough with the waffle. Let's get in to Luke Ayling. Now, Luke Ayling, what I found really interesting about Luke, and what I did not know, is he was actually on the verge of going to Celtic. Now, Ayling revealed to The Athletic that before he signed for Leeds, he believed he was joining Celtic. Terms were as good as agreed in Glasgow, but he tells the story to The Athletic that Celtic overspent on one particular transfer, and that was Scott Sinclair, and talks died a death. Carl Bartley, one of the closest friends from their Arsenal days, was on loan at Leeds from Swansea, and once discussions about the switch started, a deal was put in place quickly. Now, I didn't know that. After doing a little bit of research on Ayling, that was a massive sort of excitement for me, because I was like, Celtic were after him as well. So 2 massive clubs in Great Britain were after this man. A lad who was playing at Bristol City, but, with all respects, when you're getting 2 giants coming for you, it's a massive compliment for Luke Ayling. And obviously the talks died a death. It'd have been interesting to see whether or not he'd have still come to Leeds if the Celtic talks were still there at an advanced stage. But listen, he loves the club. We'll get onto that in a little bit. And absolutely buzzing with everything that's going on. Just in terms of like Luke Ayling, his progression with Leeds United, and this as well was the transfer. As you can see here, he started at Arsenal, played with Carl Bartley amongst numerous others. I believe he played as well with Jeremy Ali there. If you can pronounce that, get it in the comment section below. What a cracking name that lad had. And he moved on from Arsenal reserves to Yeovil Town. Then he moved to Bristol City and then Leeds United for an absolutely sterling fee under the tutorship Leeds United were under at the time of Gary Monk. Brought in Luke Ayling, and he brought him in for 750 grand. What an absolute steal. Luke Ayling, and as it was an interesting time for him at the start of Leeds. Now, but this is one we all want to hone in on. This is one we all love to see. Lee Johnson has told the Bristol Post he wouldn't argue with the thought that Bristol City were wrong to sell now Leeds United star Luke Ayling. Right back Ayling is set for a reunion with his former manager on Saturday's Leeds visit Ashton Gate, hoping for an end to run with 3 successive defeats. Now, this was under Gary Monk's managerial career at Leeds United. And it was all said back in the day that Lee Johnson wanted to get rid of Luke Ayling because he couldn't play with both feet and he wasn't versatile enough. Oh, dear Lee. Little Lee. What were you doing, little Lee? Oh, now what is it? Jack Hunt? Did you bring Jack Hunt in as a replacement? Oh, dearie me. And as I've seen in the comment here, the value, what a bargain that was for Leeds United. Well played, Gary Monk. Gary Monk, by the way, who brought in Kyle Bartley. I believe it was Pontus Jansson as well, Luke Ayling, Rob Green, Pablo Hernandez. Wow, what an impressive sort of recruitment it really was from Gary Monk, Pep Clotet and his team. And there you go. The third image there of my slideshow is Lee Johnson saying that he wasn't good enough for Bristol City. Lee, thank you so much, my friend, because he's good enough for the Premier League. And it started all quite well for Ayling at Ellen Road. As you can see, look how much younger he looks there in the face. There with his Bezzy mate, Kyle Bartley, Pontus Jansson without the beard. And this was a new era for Leeds. We're getting into a bit of a new period in the Leeds United way. We got rid of sort of everything that had happened before, the Hockaday days, the McDermott, the Warnock. And we're coming into a new era. Cellino was he wasn't bringing it back as such, but he was giving us a little bit of hope with the kits, with getting Gary Monk in. And this was that Leeds' highest positional finish in some years, but in the doldrums. And that was because of Gary Monk. That was because of players like Ayling, Bartley, and Jansson and co. But what a back line it was that year, by the way. Luke Ayling, Charlie Taylor on the other side, Bartley, Jansson, Berardi coming off the bench. Leeds really were absolutely strengthened at the back, and with Rob Green in net, Leeds were fierce at the back that year, keeping lots of clean sheets, winning many aerial duels in our back line and against the other back line as well. I remember goals against Villa, goals against Brighton, all coming at home, all from heady chances. Leeds were formidable height-wise back then, and then obviously it wasn't one of Ayling's. It's really hard to describe it because the Gary Monk era, there was a lot of tensions. Now, I know this personally from a friend who I know who played for Leeds. There was a lot of tension behind the scenes at Leeds United because of Gary Monk, because of how he went about things, and how he spoke to players. And I don't think it was a harmonious group. I don't think it was a harmonious backroom staff, and I don't think it was a harmonious time at Ellen Road, despite the incredible position we found ourselves in going into the new year. It was one of those where, once again, as you can see here, there was a little bit of an issue with what Ayling, thought of, what I was just saying there about Gary Monk. Ayling believed that Leeds' struggles came as a result of former boss Gary Monk not rotating his squad enough. Monk tended to be against tinkering with his lineup, but Christensen has shown more willingness to rotate. Now, we'll get onto Christensen in just a second, but that was Gary Monk. That was the structure. That was the back four, the back five, including Rob Green. Leeds were resilient. We were structured. We didn't change at all. And there was only a little bit of fluctuation between Gaetano Berardi coming in as a right-sider and Luke Ayling. And I think Luke Ayling, on the whole, found it very frustrating that Leeds weren't rotating as a unit in a 46-game minimum season in one of the toughest, physically demanding leagues in the world. Gary Monk has insisted to the Yorkshire Evening Post that he has no regrets about starting Luke Ayling for Leeds United's game against QPR this weekend. Ayling went into the game on 9 bookings, and I remember that under that Gary Monk era. We had so many bookings. We're such an aggressive team, a physical team, especially at the back. I mean, Luke Ayling getting 9 bookings in a season now is unheard of. 9 bookings, but Monk wasn't responsible. He played Ayling again. Ayling obviously knew that one more yellow card would lead to a suspension. The fullback picked up a knock, a booking in the contest, meaning that he'll be now sidelined for 2 matches. Now, this is all about game management for Gary Monk, and you could tell that Ayling was getting frustrated by this. If you're a player, you're on 9 bookings, you maybe want to be eased off a little bit and then slightly put into the fray again. It didn't happen. The game management wasn't a part of Gary Monk's artillery, and what he did every time was stick with the same squad, becoming quite predictable, but also inducing a lot of risks within this Leeds United side. Fatigue, bookings, amongst the rest. Really was. Now, Ayling obviously went through a lot of turmoil as well when it comes to injuries. Now, Thomas Christiansen was announced early that season, obviously the season after Gary Monk left, and it was when Christiansen was employed by the club. Luke Ayling announcement issued. It's awful news for Thomas Christiansen. Ayling, throughout his tenure at Leeds United, there have been spouts of injury, a lot of injury as well. When he's been out, it's been 3-4 months or 1 or 2 months. It's not been consistent. And we'll get onto Paul Heckingbottom in a bit, but a staggering statistic, I believe it is, from doing a bit of research, that he only played 1 game under Paul Heckingbottom. Which is incredible. You know, I think Heckingbottom was there for a brief stint, but still, you'd expect Luke Ayling to be featuring. Injury once again hampering the young Englishman. As you can see here, once again, that was completely vilified here when you can see that scans have confirmed that Luke Ayling has injured the medial collateral ligament in his right knee and will face 2 months on the sidelines. This was a consistent issue for Luke Ayling becoming fit. And it's only been recently where he's been able to get out of that funk, get out of that psyche, get out of that unluckiness of just getting injured all the time at the wrong moments. And, you know, he always wanted to validate that 4-year contract that was given to him in 2017, 16, 17. And he couldn't do that because he couldn't get a consistent spell in the lineup. We saw that even on the Amazon documentary under Marcelo Bielsa's first year at Leeds United, when Ayling was on the sidelines. He was in the treatment room. He was coming out and saying there's 6 or 7 people on the treatment room every single day because of the workload, because of the soft tissue injuries in this Leeds United squad. And Ayling was feeling the brunt of that. He's never really been able to get consistently fit, but that certainly improved this season. Now, obviously, he's been in the best form of his career when Thomas Christiansen was at the helm at Leeds United. He played a lot of games under Christiansen, and he was rewarded in 2016, as I've just said, with a 4-year deal. Ayling made 44 appearances in all competitions for Leeds last season under boss Gary Monk. Obviously, we're talking about the fatigue, the stamina of the players. Monk not changing anything, 44 appearances. And the defender managing to hold on to his spot in the team after Thomas Christiansen took charge of the club in the summer. But the Yeovil Town man admitted that whilst he has not been at the best in his last few games, he intends to be on top form soon. Now, Ayling as well, when he'd come back from injury, I don't know if you guys agree with this. When Ayling used to come back from injury, it took him a while to get back into it. Sluggish even last season when he came back under Marcelo Bielsa. When he came back into the fore again, he struggled for about 3 or 4 games, wasn't at his peak. And that's because of the injuries he had. They weren't just 1 or 2 weeks. It was 2, 3, 4 months. So Ayling really suffered to get that consistency, to get that continuity, and to help his team out, obviously, over a consistent basis, over a 12-month period. So Luke Ayling really, really struggled. But as you can see, Luke Ayling this year in particular has managed to absolutely get rid of all those doubters. And as he was saying here, once again, maybe the last few games were not my best, but I'm sure I'll come back to the quality where I've been. And that seemed to be a consistent theme for Luke Ayling. It was, I will get back. I'm going to get back. I'm going to get better. I just need a run of games. We've got some really good fullbacks, so hopefully I can keep on doing that. Ayling, who made 15 appearances in all competitions for Leeds this season, is in line once again to face his former employers, Bristol City. Now, these are just timestamps from his career under Christiansen, under Heckingbottom, under Gary Monk, pre-Bielsa era when he just had injury after injury after injury problems for Luke Ayling. Right, so that's where we get into this next bit, Paul Heckingbottom. Now, Ayling came under a lot of scrutiny when Paul Heckingbottom became the manager of Leeds United. There was a lot of Leeds United fans who were coming out and saying they were not happy with the appointment of the ex-Barnsley man, not much on his credential list, and really coming into a club like Leeds United, a club with the stature, the presence, the aura of Leeds United. Can Paul Heckingbottom take the reins and take Leeds United back to the promised land? He wasn't the man, and he was never the man from the start. He had a paintbrush, a black paintbrush on him, which essentially meant from all the fans, they weren't going to give him a chance. He wasn't going to be able to do the right things. And it wasn't just about the fans giving him a chance. We saw what he could do. Leeds were painfully bad. We were not playing a nice style of football. We were struggling to get wins. So the fans were completely right. And it was a poor decision to employ the ex-Barnsley manager. I was in favour of it at the start. I thought he was a young English upcoming manager. And Luke Ayling clearly thought the same, as you can see here. More backing for Paul Heckingbottom from Leeds United players, as Luke Ayling says he wants Heckingbottom to be given the chance to take the club into next year. And as George says, the players are hardly going to come out and say, get rid of him, are they? And that was just a current theme. And Ayling found himself in hot bother on Twitter for these comments, backing Paul Heckingbottom. As Ayling said, he thought it was for the good of the club, but the fans didn't agree with him, of course. More backing for Paul Heckingbottom. The players aren't going to say otherwise. They can't be frozen out if he stays. I can't understand why he's still here. Those same resources as Thomas Christensen, but he takes us massively backwards. Out now or Division 1 certs. And this was the whole thing with Heckingbottom. The pre-Bielsa era, it was toxic, but we were coming back. We were coming back to the good times, as Orta vindicated Leeds fans with the signing, with the signature of Marcelo Bielsa. Now, look at all the games that have been played by Luke Ayling, sorted by coaches. Marcelo Bielsa, 80 games plus. I think this was done a while ago, to be fair. 80 games plus under Marcelo Bielsa. Look at all the assists there. One assist in every 8 games for Luke Ayling. Look at his yellow cards as well under Bielsa. Remember that I said under Gary Monk, he picked up 9 in a season. Under Marcelo Bielsa, he's picked up 14 in 80 games. So for a backliner, that is not bad. A backliner, I'm not American. For a fullback, that is not bad at all. So as you can see here, played his most games. And Heckingbottom, as you can see there, 1 game for Paul Heckingbottom. Now, we're going to be getting now into the Bielsa era. Of course we are now. Thank you so much for your donation, Willie Bob. Cock will fill Ben White's gap nicely, Connor. That is true. That is true. There are no subtle. You're not insinuating anything there, are you, mate? You're not. You are just saying that he will fill the gap nicely. Thank you so much. You bang on. I think Cock will fill the gap. Anyway, let's move on. Now, this was a pivotal moment in Luke Ayling's career at Leeds United for me. He'd seen it the year before when Leeds United played at Forest. We played at Brentford. There was a breaking point. Leeds United were burning out, as many were saying, and we put it in quotation marks. We say it as if it was one of those things, those skeptical things that actually didn't happen. It did happen last year. Leeds United burnt out fully. We did. We went. It was an excruciating run of games from February onwards, and Leeds felt the full brunt of the 46 Championship game season. Now, this year, we played Nottingham Forest away and were beaten. We're beaten well. We looked on Tuesday to a game away at Griffin Park where we hadn't won since the 50s. And a great Brentford side in terms of their development, their progression as a club. We played Brentford, and that Forest game, he looked defeated. Luke Ayling looked completely defeated. This was a picture of him completely distraught, and he said during that game, the first goal was a killer, and he looked dejected. There was a lot of talk on social media once again about Luke Ayling, and it was for this. What's happened with Ayling? What's happening with Leeds? Are we breaking? What's the changing room like? Is Bielsa going to get them up? Is anybody going to get them up? Who knows? But this was what he said. I got back on the bus afterwards and could see on his phone that people were talking about what I had said, but I wasn't going to beat myself up. But I didn't. I got home and had a little sulk that night, which I like. I like the fact that he's had a little sulk that night, to be quite frank. The next day, it was back to work. That defeat in Nottingham drew a line in the sand. Apparently, there was some Frank words, not Thomas Frank words, because we know that those words are already plastered over social media before any game started, but some Frank words, some Bielsa Frank words in that changing room after that game where Leeds United, they had a bit of an airing process. Apparently, they all sat down, told each other problems, aired everything out, as Calvin Phillips has said in an interview as well. And that was the changing of the guard. That was when Leeds started hitting top gear. We played Brentford on the Tuesday, battered Brentford, an absolute 1-1 hammering. Somehow they got away with it. Liam Cooper saving Leeds. Kiko Casilla letting that one in under his foot. They shouldn't have got anything from that game. It still hurts me now. We should have done Frank in fully there. And look at this now. Ayling turned. You could see away at Middlesbrough, at home to Huddersfield, at home to Reading, at home to Bristol City. There was a different Luke Ayling. He took charge. He took control. He was the captain. He was the leader. And as you can see here, look at the face. It's a completely different Luke Ayling there. And as you can see throughout the latter parts, him scoring massively important goals for the Peacocks. Schindler, he's just looking at he's looking into the crowd there. How does that man get that hair in such a tight ponytail? And look at this image here. This in comparison to this. Look at this. Luke Ayling absolutely stoked, absolutely over the moon after an impressive performance and goal of the season against Huddersfield. Now, this is what I've titled on my captions as captain role, the captain's role, grabbing hold of every man at every opportunity. I remember when I would go down to Ellen Road versus Reading, Bristol City, Huddersfield, you'd see him on the sidelines. You'd see him grabbing hold of players. You'd see him come here, shouting at players. It was a different Luke Ayling. It wasn't the smiley Luke Ayling. It was business. Down to business with Luke Ayling. I'm getting us out of this division. I'm a leader. I've been here with Cooper. I've been here with Dallas. I've been here with Calvin. We aren't getting down to those circumstances of last year where people were laughing at us. We're going to grab the bull by the horns and we're going to get promoted. And Luke Ayling was a massive protagonist in Leeds getting into the promised land. Leeds winning the division by 10 points from second, and Leeds winning by third place by 12 points. 12 points, always keep that in mind. An impressive statistic from Leeds United and an absolutely brilliant thing. Now, I've just seen an absolutely incredible donation from Bernard. Flew back from Romania to buy the thing of beauty with the lion on its sleeve. Keep up the good work. Your insight is fresh and you're a natural, mate. Bernard, everybody say thank you, Bernard, on the chat. Thank you so much, mate. Always going to a good cause, always going back into the channel. Thank you so much, mate. I really appreciate that. Apologies if I don't see all the donations, guys. When I'm in this mode, I just keep going. Thank you so much, Bernard. What an absolute hero. What a cracking name as well. Now, this is something that I absolutely love to see as well. And guys, guess who saw Luke Ayling today? If you do follow me on social media, go follow me on Instagram, go follow me on Twitter, In Full Swing. I saw Luke Ayling today. My girlfriend turned round in Wetherby and she went, "Oh my God, Connor, look, it's Luke Ayling." Turned round and we locked eyes. He looked at me. I looked at him. I was thinking, "Are you an In Full Swinger?" He was saying, "I know this guy from somewhere." I do. I know. No, but we did. We saw him. And he looked great. He was out with his family. Looked like they're having a lovely time in Wetherby. And you can see he loves it. Got a big beaming smile on his face all the time. In interviews, he's exuberant about the North. And he says it's a cracking place to live. And he looked like he was having a cracking time today with his family. Maybe I got to work on the accent a little bit, but my family live down south. I rarely go down. Hey, you Southerners who want to come up north, come up. It's better up here, guys. I promise you. They always come up. I just enjoy being here. It's a nicer way of living and a slower way of living. I live in a nice little village where everyone says morning to you and everyone looks out for you. It's so nice. You just do not get that down south. Head down, scrolling through your iPhone and just walking into you. It's not the way to live. And he's right. It's nice up north. But listen, it's been an impressive career for Luke Ayling, and I believe he's going to go on from strength to strength. PFA Player of the Year. When we're all talking about Dallas, we're all talking about Paulo Hernandez, and Luke Ayling wins it. Luke Ayling wins it, fully deserved. A lot of people talking about Matty Cash. Luke Ayling, I believe he's got more appearances, he's got more goals, and he's got as many assists. And all the talk's been about Matty Cash. Luke Ayling's gone under the wire. No one's really been speaking about him. It's all been about Matty Cash. Luke Ayling, on statistics, has been the best right back in the division. He has. Sorry, all you Matty Cash fans. I do like Matty Cash, but Ayling's been the best this year. And that's what I want to end it on, guys. Do I think he'll make it into the Premier League? I think he'll be brilliant in the Premier League. I think our three standouts in the Premier League of this original squad will be Luke Ayling, will be Harrison, will be Helder Costa. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. It's been an absolute whirlwind. I hope, if you have just joined, make sure this video will process. Make sure you take it all the way back. It's only been 25 minutes. Take it all the way back, look through it, and watch it again. It's been energy. It's been Luke Ayling. It's been Leeds United. It's been Premier League. Listen, I'm going to be back tomorrow bright and early with the Rumour Mill. Me and my partner are going to go out into Harrogate now. I need to take a breath and I lie down after every video I do. I think my blood pressure reaches a solid 300 beats per minute. Guys, if you want to donate to the Patreon, the link is working now. We've got 8 solid members of the Patreon account. Thank you to every single one of you. Thank you to every single one of you who watches anyway. You're all incredible. We're on the road to 7K. Then we're on the road to 10K, getting that Leeds United community into the Premier League, into the Premier League field. I don't want Arsenal and Man United and Liverpool all to be on 300K subscribers and not have one Leeds representative. We need to get up there. So if you would subscribe to the channel, get in the Discord, get in the Fantasy Premier League chat. Let's have a laugh, get involved, and I will be back. I'll be back bright and early tomorrow. Have a cracking one. If any of you are about in Harrogate tonight, come say hi. I'll give you a little bit of a wave. We can have a conversation. We can have a beer. I'm not as excited as this. Don't worry. I'm not going to scare you off. But yeah. And remember, guys, get your entries in for your shirts. Your free Leeds United shirt, which Pablo. Or if you want a Pablo shirt, look at this. But listen, if you want a free Leeds United shirt, as I've told you, you know exactly what to do. Subscribe, screenshot the fact that you subscribed, like this video. Make sure you screenshot that as well. Put a comment in the section below. Screenshot that. You've got 3 screenshots. Attach it in an email. Send it to my email in the description below, and you could get yourself a free Leeds United shirt worth 65 quid. I don't even have one yet. Guys, have an incredible evening. I will see you later.